everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of A Chance of TBD, where we are sitting down with the brand new cast of Stories and New Hope, our cyberpunk actual play that will be starting next Thursday at this very same spot, at this very same time. And I'm so freaking excited. But for tonight, our boisterously dubious tacticians break down tactics, backgrounds, and descriptions to, as always, bring delight to all of you. How is everybody feeling? I am so excited to start this game. I am so excited to actually get a chance to play for the first time in a long while. So I'm actually playing this time, which is super exciting. But we are going to go around the table and introduce all of these, some familiar faces and some brand new faces to all of you. Starting off with the most important, our GM of this game, Sin.
Hello. Salutations. As some people may know me, I go by sensationally.me on most of my socials. I usually play on Thursdays as a chaotic little gremlin or something similar, and for the first time, I will be GMing a mini campaign online. Hello.
Then I'm gonna leave it to you to popcorn to someone else, and then we can.
Oh my god. I'm gonna hand it over to Chris. Hello.
I keep thinking that there's like the other Chris is also here, so I'm like, yeah, they'll handle it. And then while I'm like doing stuff on my computer, hello, it is I, Chris, also known as Homicide. Don't laugh at me, Seth.
I am not laughing at you, King. I just am eating something very spicy, so it's.
I know I was
making me
talking to
a
Saf,
little-
but
Oh,
love you, Sam. It me, I Hamasama-kun on all major social media platforms, particularly Instagram and Twitch. The two things that don't make me hate myself all the time because of random algorithmal things. But yeah, what else were we supposed to say?
That's it.
Oh.
Right now. Get off.
Okay. Saf, you do it.
How did I know that was gonna happen?
My
I've
vengeance
lost
takes
my
many
train of-
forms.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Saf. You can find me everywhere on the internet as a clerical error. That's pretty much it. I run a TTRPG streetwear company called Arcane Wares part of the time. But that's pretty much it. I think, yeah, operator, take it away.
5% chance. Hi, I'm Hello Operator, both on here, which I'm going to start doing again, I promise, and the Techie Talks is until my government shuts it down. But yeah, it's great to be here. Sam.
okay. So, hi everyone. I'm Sam, or Rather_VO on places such as TikTok, Twitter, and/or Instagram. I don't really do Twitch, and this is my first time here on 5% chance. So it's an absolute pleasure to meet all of you. I can't wait to get started. I'm gonna go ahead and bounce it to Janders.
Hello, everybody. I'm back once again as a player. It's great. I'm Jared or Janders, whatever you prefer. You can find me on TikTok or Instagram at Janders42. Yeah. Take it away, Erica.
Hi. Back to me. So we are diving into a brand new system, not just for this channel, but for practically all of us, which has been super fun and super interesting to kind of try and tackle, because I think for the most part, all of us come from a Dungeons and Dragons background. Has been kind of like where we've started. I know, Operator, you have had you're more of Pathfinder.
I was about to say I cut my teeth on Pathfinder as an elitist does. But I've dabbled in like Call of Cthulhu, Alien the RPG. I've played a couple other ones.
I was gonna say, what before we even dive into Cyberpunk, and kind of where we are going with the story and kind of like the things that we have come across of learning a new system, where does everyone's background fall into not just Dungeons and Dragons, but other TTRPGs, if there are any? Or if this is just like, oh my god, kind of like staring into deer in the headlight kind of situation. So whoever wants to kick it off.
So I'll elaborate real quick. Just so it started out on Pathfinder, which is basically D&D 3.5 and a half. Got into 5th edition. I've played Call of Cthulhu, which is absolutely phenomenal, and I would love to murder hobo the crap out of some people on here with that. It's my first time playing Cyberpunk, but I'm really excited about that. Starfinder and Star Wars. But been playing for about 15 years.
Damn.
Yeah,
I thought we were popcorning.
You're so courteous.
I'm so sorry.
Are we popcorning?
No,
I
you
wasn't
can just
sure.
jump in.
I think it's
Absolutely
just open
so sweet.
conversation.
Right. Yeah, I cut my teeth on D&D 5e about 10 years ago, but since then, you know, I've played everything from Pathfinder 2e. I haven't dug too deep into Pathfinder 1e yet, but I'd like to one day. And if I can make my dreams come true and find the free time, I would love to do like a historic backtrack of TTRPG because I'm into history like that. These days I play a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse games and a lot of OSR games. I mess around with indie TTRPGs a lot. And I think right now what has magically grasped my interest the most is the Avatar TTRPG and the upcoming oh my gosh, it runs on the Cypher system, Old Gods of Appalachia RPG that I am really interested in picking up and running one day just because I am really fascinated by the Cypher system. And I think I might be rambling just a little bit.
Damn, you just struck a chord in my heart because I backed that Kickstarter, and so did one of our other producers, Curtis, as well, which should be coming in this month. So whenever we'll chat.
Please talk to me about it because the Cypher system is so fascinating and like it does it plays into horror concepts through mechanics in such a fascinating way, right? I spend a lot of time thinking about how like mechanics play with narrative and how ludonarrative occurs in TTRPG. That's like part of the work I do, like researching that. So the Cypher system is really interesting to me in how like it calls people to ante up stats almost in order to do cool things rather than just doing cool things by nature of the game. I could talk about this forever. Sorry.
Listen, I could listen to you
Okay.
forever.
I'm normal
Like,
I promise.
This is it. This is the show.
So I don't have as much TTRPG experience as our previous two speakers. I started a little under 6 years ago now in D&D. But most of my experiences are actually Powered by the Apocalypse. I do a lot of playtesting for games that are run through Magpie, which includes the Avatar: The Last Airbender series. I run a few games if anyone here is ever interested. Which, like, if anyone's ever in Indianapolis for Gen Con, your boy's gonna be running many Powered by the Apocalypse games. And through learning Cyberpunk, I realized I've played a variant of the interlock system. So I actually have a little bit of experience playing Mechton, which is a Japanese Gundam RPG game based off the interlock system that I'm super hyped about. And now I might make mech suits for the campaign, don't worry about it.
Chris, Saf, Janders.
I have very minimal experience. I've played Call of Cthulhu, and I absolutely adore that. I've looked into Pathfinder, and I've read on it, but that's pretty much it. I'm excited to experience this new system and kind of go out of my comfort zone with TTRPGs.
Yeah.
For me personally, I was just thinking about it and calculating. I've almost been playing for 10 years for D&D 5e, which is shocking to me personally, and I lived that life. But I also dabbled in a lot of indie games for a while. My friend ran Wogdiddle, which is we're only going to do this once. It was a Twitch series where they would do an indie TTRPG game every single session, and it was so much fun. I got the privilege to be in a couple of those and try just some amazing things. There was one where literally it was just vampires doing their daily lives, or like I played a lot of world building games, which are really fun. I recently played Did Somebody Say Street Magic, which you can get on itch.io, and it's so fun. It's like 20 pages. It's an incredible world builder game. I'm very big into world building, so that's been kind of my purview. But other than that, that kind of influences my experience as a TTRPG player. I really like writing and improv and things like that, so I've been doing that for a lot longer than 10 years. That's my background on that.
Does that just leave me?
Sure it is, good buddy.
I've been thinking of nothing but the Muppet song for the last like 5 minutes, so I apologize if I'm not completely here. But my experience with TTRPGs is, yeah, it's pretty much just D&D. I played once when I was like 13, and then I forgot all about it until I was 18, and then I played for a while, and then I joined D&D TikTok, and then I played a lot more, but also not that much. My most regular game is Hot Asian D&D that Sam is in, and even that only happens once when the schedules align and the moon shines its light upon the field.
Like every D&D party.
Yeah, pretty much. I've also played Mass. Love that game. I took like a few looks at the Cyberpunk rules and stuff, and it oh my god, it's so much math and things that I didn't read, but I'm happy to try this out. I played the video game. That hopefully helps.
Yeah, totally.
Can I just say, Chris told me that he played it to prep for the game, and I was like, they are not the same.
I wanted to immerse myself in Keanu Reeves simulator, alright? Like,
Gotta go
let
back to
me
the
just
source
be
material.
Keanu Reeves. Exactly.
You shouldn't hear what my prep was, which it was just watching Cyberpunk Edge Runners on Netflix. And when I say watching, I mean like 5 episodes.
My
You
purpose was
finish
actually just
it?
to watch Constantine starring Keanu Reeves. I know it's not the same, but it just felt the same.
I also left one out that I would really love everyone to try at some point. I recently got into solo RPGs, which are
Yes.
so
Ah.
interesting. I just
RPGs
got
are fascinating.
Yeah.
Is that like a
Um,
choose your own adventure book?
kind of.
A
It's like a
little bit, a little bit.
self-journaling one. And they have different genres. I recently got into like this one called Dwelling, and it's you go into this haunted house, and different things happen, but you also are given a marker to draw some of the things that happen on your body as well. So it's very interactive, and it helps you keep track
Yeah.
of things.
Yeah, I think
It's very Memento.
yes.
Yes.
Solo RPGs are a little bit of journaling and a little bit of random chance interacting with how the story forms, right? In the same way that like a TTRPG has a GM standing in for a video game system, that's the analogy I'm going to use here. A solo RPG has the rulebook and dice standing in for that system.
Okay.
And what that
Interesting.
means is that as the player, you have to arbitrate some of those rules yourself. But a lot of those solo RPGs are limited enough in scope that it's pretty easy to navigate on your own. And it can lead to some really interesting character development processes or some world building stuff. And it leads to, I think, some really fascinating roles of the die, defining or determining your fate as a character within a world, more so than interaction, quote unquote, with other players might. It's cool.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
have to look
there's-
into that. Also, really quick, Sam, thank you so much for bringing up Old Gods of the Appalachia. That was not on my radar, and Kickstarter is still taking late pledges.
Yeah, Yeah, it's awesome. It is like I
Well, I know what's gonna be happening next on this Thursday game.
I just
In 3 months.
oh my gosh. I think the cipher system's really interesting, and their choice for the game allows for a lot of very open storytelling practices, while also like limiting the scope of what characters can do in order to create horror, right? And I think that's just makes me lose my mind.
That's really fun. Oh, on the similar concept of that, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Scoundrel in the Deep. I'm pretty sure that you can find this on the internet, but it is a two-person RPG, and it's so fun. Granted, you do have to use some caution with it because there are matches involved, but it's really fun. You get a one-page basic rule set, and it's the Scoundrel's one person and the Deep is the other person, and it actually follows a character who has already done the whole dungeon crawl and actually has to make their way back out, and you're telling the story of them making it back out. And so as the character is leaving the dungeon, the scoundrel is the character leaving and the deep is the dungeon, and you hold a match and you light it, and so you have to problem solve back and forth before the match burns down, and it's super fun. It kind of has that horror feel to it. It's still got like a fantasy adventure thing, but it's super fun. And if you ever get the chance, you can play with some friends and you strike a match and you hand it back and forth, and it's really fun.
Oh.
It's a great time.
Speaking sorry, am I interrupting?
Good.
Speaking of matches and horror and TTRPG, have any of you played 10 Candles? Have any of you played 10 Candles? 10
God.
Candles, my beloved?
Holds up the pamphlet.
You heard the good
this
word.
is the whole rulebook. This is the whole TTRPG. It's very,
so
very
great.
small. Super
Um,
limited. Creates incredible storytelling.
Yeah.
If Can I just throw it out there? I am in love with indie press release. If you ever see them at a con, you order online. Anytime you buy a game from them, you are always given a PDF version as well. I love it, and they're all super tiny. Did I spend $200 at PAX East buying a bunch of indie solo RPG games? Possibly. It's fine.
It's awesome.
okay.
I think that there's something very charming, very heartwarming about small indie written TTRPGs that allow the writer to more directly make a claim of like, what is this about, right? Like, what is the takeaway from the story that you tell with this game? And you get that really well in these sorts of small TTRPGs that you might not get from a larger system, right? The point of the larger system is that you get to tell the story that you want to tell through these rules and mechanics, and those rules and mechanics arbitrate the way that the story comes to life. These smaller excuse me, I'm choking on a peanut. These smaller
Good.
texts allow us to more directly connect with the stories that the developer creator want to tell, and I think that's really fascinating, right? It creates like this mass connection across time and space between the moment where this book was written and the people playing it, and that there's something so heartwarming about that. Anyways, soapbox be gone.
Sin, you got a really interesting indie game when at the Kalamazoo con.
You mean Sky Raccoon Pirates? Absolutely, I did. Where you can
sorry,
play as
what?
raccoons or
Cut me off, I'm
possums.
sorry.
Why are we playing that?
Because I didn't get it in time, and I will learn it. I will happily run it. You basically play as raccoons and possums with different roles and skills. One of them is called Big Chonker, and you collect garbage and trash to build a spaceship to steal from the humans.
That
Wait.
sounds so ideal.
That's
We
awesome.
need to play that. I don't. I know we made
Once-
Cyberpunk characters, but I think we should do that instead.
Is this based off of Scran?
No. Oh my god, I forgot to tell you guys. They recognized me from the show as Scran, and I was like, guys, I'm a possum.
I mean, in case for those of you who are new to the channel, possums are kind of like the mascot of 5%.
Good.
ever since Diceberg when we almost killed a family. Actually, Nope, that-
like a family of
Big in
possums or a
space.
family.
family of
They
possums.
are a
possums.
real family operator. It doesn't matter if they're possums or not.
I'm pretty sure that we actually saved the possums so that we didn't, and they were then forever part of 5%
Good.
chance.
And then,
And
you let
then
me play
Sin
one.
came, yeah, and then Sin came in and played Scran, not knowing any of this information. And then Scran became the mascot. So we love our possums here.
Once
As
I
you should.
learn
Possums
the
are
game,
amazing.
once I learn the game, I will run it. Whether it's streamed or not, I will run this game for us. We can all be little baby rodents.
Uh,
I need that in my life.
so
Truly.
Can I play
We have
possum
the-
in this? Can I just be Rocket Raccoon?
We can talk.
I know I made a whole thing and there's a backstory, but like, I really think we should hone in on this possum angle.
Chris, call me back. We can talk. We'll talk.
There's a character named like Ralph the Unshakable, and his defining personality trait is that he has rabies.
Yes.
Yep.
Sorry, this went off the rails so fast, Erica.
no, it's totally fine. Which I tell the chat every single time we come to TBD, is we are chaos incarnate. So welcome. And this has really just proven the fact that, yeah, we just go, and also conversation has been absolutely fantastic about all things TTRPG. But I do kind of want to get back into talking about Cyberpunk, just a little bit.
Boy.
Just a little bit. I think the biggest question that I have for everyone, and also, Sin, you kind of touched on it earlier, we're like reading through the Cyberpunk book and everything, that you have played similar games to this, but taking this on both as, for you specifically as a GM, but then also the group of us as characters, as players, as most of us have come from the D&D background, where it's like, cool, you have a great character backstory, and that's all you really need. You figure the rest out during roleplay, is very different in Cyberpunk, where it's like, it's great to have a backstory, but also you need so much other stuff. Start with you, Sin, and then we'll talk as characters, as players.
So the system I played before actually is a variant of Interlock. So I'm a lot less nervous about learning the system itself. I personally think you can kind of approach it the way with D&D, where you come with a backstory. Because truthfully, like, there are ways to make numbers work. I think it also depends on who your GM is. The people I have talked with one-on-one so far pretty much know that I'm very loosey-goosey anyways. I'm just like, listen, we'll make it work. I don't really care. We'll figure it out. Like, I don't want to spoil people's characters, but there are some wild concepts out there. And so, like, you know, I was talking with someone earlier today about a steed, and I'm just like, I love it. I'm here for it. It's wild. I don't actually know if the mechanics work, but I will figure it out if they don't. Like, I think it's just one of those things where it's, because it's different, it's intimidating. Because, like, the first time I ever delved into, like, you know the one-page RPGs that people put out? I found those so intimidating. But when you look at it, it's like the easiest system to pick up because it's one page. But it's just, I think, the idea of newness and comfort and what you know. Because it's, for me, my bigger stress is kind of like being able to improvise on a system I don't know well. Because it's easier to when you do. But I also feel very lucky and privileged to have a table of players that I very much trust to A, respect each other's boundaries, and also just work with each other instead of against each other for spotlight, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. So, us as players, I will go last because I want y'all to talk. But as players, especially those coming in from the D&D background, how has it been to create something completely different because you're no longer playing with races and classes. We are all human beings in a way. But using kind of like those same techniques of within roles to kind of get that whole story, that whole like character picture, and how much has those roles being picked. And with this being said, you can say as much as you would like about the characters we're playing next week, or as little as you'd like, to keep it a surprise if you would like. So I'm leaving up to how much you would like to divulge, both on character creation and engaging with this new system.
Yeah. For me, I took a very story-driven concept because this system is very crunchy, and I was never, even though I've been playing D&D for a long time, still not very strong in like building a character mechanics. I threw that into D&D Beyond, and I was like, yeah, get in there. So even still, like, mechanics has never been at the forefront of my mind. I still know it, and I realize more and more how much I do know. But a lot of it, I really feel confident and also enjoy the aspect of creating an interesting, or what I find to be a lovable character to play, and enjoy the time with. And then I feel like mechanics kind of come after the love of like whatever I've made, because for me, I have to enjoy what I'm doing in order to grasp something. So I was like, well, I mean, how do I make this fun for me to play? And also, Sin is just really lovely and an incredible GM, and like they said, was like, oh well, like we'll just make it work, whatever you want to do, we'll do it, and so we'll just figure out the mechanics later. So I think that has been just a really lovely process in general. Now, looking at my sheet, I don't love looking at it because I'm like, I don't know what number goes, and what, and so a lot of video tutorials later, I think I'll be decent enough. But yeah, that was kind of my process.
So has anyone else actually opened the PDF yet, or is it just Saf who has a character sheet now?
So
I just found mine.
I will say I'm kind of in a weird spot where I know the type of character I want to play, and now I'm just trying to figure out what type of role this character fits, and I'm kind of in between a couple. But I'm very excited about the backstory of my character, and that I'm just excited to play a simple fellow. I'm just very excited.
Good old
simple
wholesome dude.
Yeah.
They lied.
Just a guy being a dude.
I
Just a dude being
A
bro.
wholesome homie.
I'm just a feller.
Just
Oh yeah,
Feller.
sure.
for
You can tell none of us have poker faces.
How are we gonna commit crimes?
for
With much aplomb.
okay, for everyone watching, just so you know, with roles, they're similar to kind of D&D classes, but I kind of explain it to people more as like they're like tropes with special features that come with the tropes, just to give everyone who is watching an idea of what they meant when they said role.
Mine comes with a
Yeah.
harem.
Oh no.
I
Well, I know what cybernetics you
suppose-
picked.
I suppose, you know, that's true. Yeah.
Sin
Make
sent me a
myself laugh, and that's all
picture.
that matters.
Sin sent me a picture of that today, and the highlighted those cybernetics you're talking about.
Oh, I'm taking both.
Oh
Good for
yeah.
You, King. Good-
I'm,
good for
I'm
you.
not taking anything else. It's just that.
Mr. Stud, and I don't remember what the other one is.
I want to be
Lady of the
Desire.
Night.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
These are all the things I want for my character.
I
Fair
just
enough.
want it to be
Fair
known.
enough.
It's funny because all the other cybernetics have like a paragraph of description.
Yeah.
And then it just goes all day, all night, they'll never know. And
Yeah,
that is the
literally.
description.
I
Oh, God.
love that they're like advertisements. I think
Oh my god, you're right.
so the Cyberpunk rulebook is really funny because there are a lot of moments, like especially like they have what are basically little paragraph asides in the text, that are advisory notes to either the player reader or to the GM reader, and it is entirely in the voice of the writer, right? Like, you have mechanics notes that are very, like, neutrally written, but then you'll have an aside that's like, yeah, your players are going to try to screw you over with this. Here's a way for you as a GM to tell them to shut up, because you're cool and epic. And it's so funny, because, like, you'll read through it and it'll be absolutely neutral language, right?
Mhm.
And, like, there'll be a box on the side and it's just a bit. It'll just be a bit. And I think the last page before the index is just an advertisement for Arasaka Court.
Oh, there's so many ads
Those.
throughout the book.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it.
The
My-
sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, I was like, my absolute favorite is there's just a thing where it's like, be careful about altering how many cybernetics you let your players have when they start the game, because they might try to screw you over, especially if you let them pool their money together for a bigger weapon. And then it just
Wait,
goes
can we
into
become a
like
Megazord?
maybe, and then it
Are
just
we the
goes into
Power
like
Rangers?
it goes into like a shifted italics where they're just like,
Oh, fuck.
but that's how you just wreck them, Chumba, and then that's the end of the sentence.
So I have not had a chance to actually play this game yet, but for those of you who've played Borderlands, Bunkers and Badasses came out, and I got the Kickstarter, and the entire rule book is written from the perspective of Tiny Tina, just like that, and
Awesome.
it's glorious. It's so glorious.
I haven't read through the book, but I will eagerly await your review, operator, because that sounds incredible. I'm gonna take a moment and turn on my lights because I'm realizing it's getting dark out.
About to say, like, you're also
Excuse
with
me.
the void.
Yes, I'm getting consumed.
You don't wanna
by the
join
void.
me?
I will be back in 1 minute.
To answer Erica's question, though, and Janders, I'm kind of curious to hear your input on this too, because you and I have both played Call of Cthulhu in a game where you don't level up. So, like in Cyberpunk, you don't level up. The hit points you have, unless you get some kind of cybernetic upgrade, you're never getting any more hit points. Your skills can go up. You can get better at your skills. But death is final and very, very real. You are not a wizard. You are not a paladin. You are not a warlock. You are Steve. And you're squishy.
Steve could be a
I'm
paladin,
absolutely terrified. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I like I said, I haven't played many other TTRPGs, so I'm just like, I'm terrified of both the rules and just I don't know, just the environments and the characters. It's all new, but it's all exciting and scary at the same time.
So
It's-
have you... Oh, go ahead.
No, go
And,
Seth.
and I played Call of Cthulhu, but it was like a one shot Call of Cthulhu. That was it.
Most of them are one shots.
Yeah.
You
I
never make it
survived.
out.
I did. I survived my one time and I went, I can never play Call of Cthulhu ever again.
You peaked.
Yeah, I have 100% win rate.
Ooh,
Why would I
mean,
ever go back?
Yeah,
True,
why would
that
you?
is so fair.
Have you
I
guys
think-
had a character die? Oh, I'm sorry, Sam.
Oh no, you go.
Have you guys had a character perma die ever in any game that you've played? Because I've never had that happen.
In
before.
D&D?
Just in any TTRPG.
Oh.
You guys have?
The
I,
one
Janders and
time
I
I
got
played a
close.
nice person.
I
Yeah.
have notoriously bad luck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
I've had a lot of characters just die in the first session. Yeah.
Oh my god.
First?
I-
Wild.
Yeah.
I either never die or die instantly. That seems to
I've
be
had-
my, like...
Yeah. I think I've had 7 characters with like southern accents, and I think 5 have died in the first session.
Does this character
Is
have
it
a
the
southern
accent?
I don't know. I think it's a curse. I mean,
So
this
are you going with the
sincerely, they're
southern
just-
accent?
That's what I was
I
saying.
I was really tempted.
You were trying to balance it out.
But like
Somebody's
I
gotta
looked at the
live.
group and I was like, someone's gotta let go. Someone's gotta let go of the accent. But yeah, like a lot of those characters just crit fail on their saving throws.
I just want chat to know on our session 0, I had 3 people immediately go like cyber cowboys.
Wait, that was before session 0. That was our initial chat.
Okay, but they showed up and were like, "Are we all doing cyber cowboy voices?"
I still think we should.
It's never too late.
We can.
We never really decided if we weren't.
Chris, you can't make me play another. You can't make
I'm not
every
making you do nothing.
streamed like game
Every
I've
game we're in.
Listen, Chris.
Like, if I play another Cyber Cowboy, I will be 2 for 2 for streamed games where I play a cowboy.
Chris
Look,
is
either
actually
you're going to do it
sabotaging
or
you,
I will.
Sam.
This is
And-
me trying to kill your character.
Chris,
I
I
refuse
just want
to kill Kong. I simply won't. He's the only one keeping the story going.
Chris, I'm trying so hard for you.
I
'cause
believe
love
in you, buddy. I love you too, man.
I feel like I'm
This-
always on the edge of dying. Let's be clear.
just for the audience to know, I think on the off chance that there is a lunar eclipse and you can watch Hot Asian D&D, it is a hilarious and super great show.
Yes.
The artwork is amazing. I believe the concept is in a world where colonization did not happen.
I guess it's like just
Ish.
Asian world built by Asians
think-
and stuff.
Yeah,
Sounds like
listen, this is how you introduced it to me, okay?
yeah. I mean, it's if I can take like 3 minutes to quick plug,
No.
it's not necessarily a world without colonization, because that would assume like there were not invasion and war and life being hard, right? But it is ultimately encroached in a non-European world, in a world which is like written for by Asian people for Asian people, and is, in terms of world building, interested in the relationships that we have with each other and the ways that those manifest in complex, nuanced, and oftentimes difficult ways, because international relations oftentimes are. But at its heart, the game is 3 people from incredibly different walks of life trying to figure out and navigate being both more powerful than many people around them and yet so much smaller than they would like to believe.
So much better.
Can I
Beautiful.
just pay you to advertise everything, Sam? Honestly, I could listen to your voice forever. Also-
You do all the advertisements for Hot Asian D&D now. I clearly cannot do this well.
I don't know. You're doing great. I think you're doing. I love your content, Chris.
I appreciate it. I still
That
want
being
you to get
said-
reads for those though.
Chris, if you do not use Joey Wheeler's voice at any point in your character, I will be disappointed in you.
In this character?
Yes,
Or-
I have already told you this.
I'll do it.
Hold on, can you do a Joey Wheeler voice?
I've made like an entire content bit. Like my account was like D&D against humanity for the longest time. I made one Yu-Gi-Oh video and it exploded and it just snowballed into making a bunch more. My
Oh, that's
longest...
right.
Sorry, go ahead.
No. I was just saying that. Yeah, that's right. I have heard your Joey Wheeler voice because I did my Pegasus voice.
Yeah! I still stand by the fact that Joey Wheeler is the true king of games. Mans was robbed in Battle City. I will not forgive the writers for that, ever.
Joey Wheeler deserved better.
Mm-hmm.
He did.
He's simply a
gets-
better character.
He gets outwritten by characters who are just like godlike, and it's such a shame. Homie's just a dude trying his best to be good at a card game.
He really
And
is.
I respect
he is
that.
our Krillin. He is
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh's Krillin.
He's Steve. He's the
He's their
us
Sokka.
cyberpunk.
He's the normie in the group, and he
really
deserves
is.
respect for it. Because, like, at the end of the day, when all of these people are coming in with big magic items and, like, the power of gods on their side, Joey Wheeler stands there representing the everyday homie, going, I'm going to play this card game, and I'm going to play it so effing well.
This is
I
actually a
bought 2
Yu-Gi-Oh
booster
podcast
packs from
now.
Target and I'm gonna take you all out!
Also, Sav, thanks for calling back to what we're actually here to talk about.
Yes.
Hey, yo,
Right.
it's me, your local admin.
True.
I
Thank
choose to
you.
believe that in my defense, technically Joey
Didn't work.
Wheeler voice was somewhere in the Cyberpunk.
Adjacent.
Adjacent.
Cyberpunk adjacent. I'll just do the entire rest of this thing in the.
I
This is what you-
kidnapped your voice.
This is
Oh.
what
I
we're
love that
doing
New
for
York
the rest
accent.
of the session.
Erica, save us. Save us, Erica.
I can't. I've lost all
I've
control.
never been to New York. Is this what everybody says?
Yes.
All right, new question. I don't
Erica,
know
you
I-
didn't answer the question.
I didn't. Oh, because I'm the deer in the headlights with this.
What was the
Where
question?
it's I was talking about tackling a new system and
Right.
character concepts and having a backstory. I'm also the weird D&D player that I have the story in my head, but I can't type it out. So like session zeros of me talking through my backstory actually helps me create the character. Also 100% miss the same thing that Saf said with like D&D Beyond. Of like, okay, I'm just gonna put my numbers in and it does all the math for me. It's like I pick a roll. Yeah, no, reading a book and having to go back to like
yeah.
the roots of it,
Oh yeah.
is just like
We totally skirted the other part of your question, and I'm really interested to hear other people's take on it, like the character creation aspect
Yeah.
of it. So, like for me, I generally take a trope, and then I start boiling it down. So it's Cyberpunk. My favorite class in fifth edition is Artificer. So I started with the engineer from Team Fortress 2, and then I sprinkled a little bit of Scooter from Borderlands, and then I watched Talladega Nights, and like just all three of those have turned into
Yeah.
Rolling Ford Mercedes Lincoln.
It's what I to drive a
Your name is
Ford.
what?
Roland,
Roland
Ford
Ford
Mercedes Lincoln.
Lincoln.
yeah, no, it's
Awesome
been
name.
Lovely to meet you. We're all
the
captains.
Guy Fieri of race cars.
No, we didn't go with the
Hi.
Guy Fieri.
No,
It's
he's
It's
Guy
too
Fieri now.
late. You've done this to yourself
You've
now.
Guy Fieri in my mind.
It will haunt the character forever. The Guy Fieri of it
Yeah.
That's his great grandfather.
I just need to get a fire shirt and sunglasses now. That's my
Welcome to
cosplay.
Flavor Town, population U.
Yeah. No, it's been so interesting like reading through all of this again, like cuz it brings me back to like when I started D&D. Cuz I started D&D before D&D Beyond. And like sitting around a table cuz like our session 0, the end of it was really that like character creation, filling in stats, us talking about like what's going on. What like brought me back to like the roots of TTRPGs and like that feeling of okay, so I did this and like this is where this thing's going and wait, what page are you on?
Yeah.
And is still that like that lovely feeling. And is still just as daunting as that first session that I ever played D&D with where we had no idea what we were doing. And to the audience, we kind of know what we're doing next week. But also, we'll get there.
Do we?
Bear with us. We're learning as you learn. But yeah, so it's that kind of that and now getting into it, talking with all of you, talking with Sin, talking with Janders and all of this, like I'm like, oh, okay, I got this now. It's like this is gonna be fun. Daisy's gonna be great because I just came up with my character name today.
Oh,
Me too. Mine's gonna be Steve.
good. Yes. I'm holding it. I'm holding you to it.
And it's just the excitement of tackling a new system has like overtaken the nerves of what's going on. Yes, Sam.
Hi.
I love how polite you are.
I am hyper aware of my tendency to ramble, and I hate for that to translate into a tendency to interrupt as well.
But you're all good.
Yeah, there's something so charming about getting lost in a system you don't know together, right?
Yeah.
Like we talk about how TTRPGs are about collaborative storytelling, but before that, it's about collaborative learning, right?
Mhm.
It's about collaborative growth. It's about collaborative figuring out this new playfield together. It's like finding a park with your friends that you've never seen before and figuring out where the hills are.
This is so
And then-
romantic.
And then you roll
Sam
down a
speaks
six.
in prose.
I know it's like friend romance. It's romantic.
From
Um,
It's
No,
non-binary
it's
romance.
really I think it's really charming, right? And like
Yeah.
you make the same mistakes. And one thing that I kind of miss about like this pre D&D Beyond era of playing TTRPGs is like you don't know what's a house rule or what's messed up because that's just how you play. And
Yeah.
that's like the little culture of storytelling that you've built with your friends. And that's kind of what it feels like, right? Especially when you're working with these smaller RPGs. And I think that's really beautiful. For me, Sin can attest. But when I heard we were playing Cyberpunk, the first thing I did was I went to like the local library and read the book. Because I am like I really like TTRPG mechanics and like figuring out how those puzzle together. Like to me, TTRPGs and like their development is like a puzzle. So like breaking it down and putting it back together is really satisfying to me.
Mhm.
So I figured out like how the classes work together, how they kind of analog to other TTRPGs, kind of what the point is. And then from there I was like, okay. And then I reached out to Sin and was like, okay, so what does the party need? And then Sin was like, play whatever you want. And I was like, that doesn't help me. So I was like, I'm going to send you 3 character concepts, and you tell me which one you like the most. And that's kind of how we arrived at where we're at. Because they were all like short paragraph characters, and then Sin was like, I'm gonna choose this one. And I was like, awesome, thank you for playing the Sam character creation, choose your own adventure. And from there I like built pieces on top of that. And then when I met with Sin just today, actually, we had a little bit more involved, a little bit more backstory. And I think that there's a lot more math involved in Cyberpunk Red,
Mhm.
but if you can analog it well to other TTRPGs, it becomes a bit simpler. Um, imagine like D&D if it had 3 times the skills, right? So very specific skill
Yeah.
checks, and then everyone can choose whatever weapon they want. And that's kind of the long and short of it. And I like I don't know, there's more freedom to it, which makes it much more complex. But it's really neat. I don't know, I've been having a lot of fun learning this TTRPG, and I look forward to really getting into the nitty-gritty of it.
Yeah.
I'm
Your
sorry,
hand was up first.
Oh, I saw your hand go up, so I was waiting for you. No, I 100% agree. Having exposure to different systems, I think, makes it more manageable. Like, the more that you've experienced, the more perspectives you have on different systems, the easier it is to chew on. For example, Call of Cthulhu, when you start a character on that, you have like 500 and some odd skill points that you have to divvy up between all kinds of things, and that was very similar to this. The D10 system from Vampire the Masquerade is very similar to the D6 system here. Pathfinder, also a lot of skill points and very specific ones. So that's helped out a lot. What I have really enjoyed is that, I mean, I've followed a couple of you guys on TikTok for a little while, but we were talking about like learning and experiencing something together. I've really enjoyed getting to know Sam and Saf and Chris and other Chris who's not here today, as we were tackling like learning a system together.
Mhm.
I guess to wrap it all up and kind of touch on that too is one of my favorite things as a GM is seeing what parts of a system people get drawn into. And one of the reasons I love doing one-on-ones with my players as well is A, just like courtesy, any safety tools on the side, but also I love seeing where people's minds go with the mechanics and the game itself, because everyone has taken such a vastly different approach to how they've made their character, and I think it's very telling how they're approaching the story in the game too, which is so fascinating to me, but also just like so lovely to see, because like I love that tells me we are going to have a very diverse story, not just in the people, but also in the game and the perspectives that we're taking. Like, I have some people who take on that trope of, like, I have no family, I don't know where my family is, versus there's people who are rooted so deeply in a connection to a single person or a family or a group. And I think it's very lovely, and it's one of my favorite things about TTRPGs. Because, like, on one hand, we joke about it being a fantasy escape, but there is always something so truly human about yourself that is rooted in each and every character that you make.
Yeah, I think this has been like such a lovely and wonderful experience, like just the beginning process of working with all of you to build this story, to kind of dive into this new world together, that I'm so excited for for where the story takes us, and the little snippets from session 0 that I've heard of like where characters going, and like the little side chats and things like that. I will say before we leave, I have one final question. It's very simple. What is your favorite color, and what is your character's favorite color?
I'm gonna go last if that's okay.
You're totally good.
That's not a simple question.
It's totally simple.
Yeah. I think that's easier for me to answer for my character than it is for me to answer for myself.
Hmm.
My character's favorite color is like bright red, like the color of fireworks. I think my favorite color is probably like chill green.
Yeah.
Pink
Operator.
and slightly more violent pink.
I'm really big on earth tones. Operator likes, oh god, olive drab. That's probably the most generic damn color I could pick. But yeah, I love my earth tones. I think Roland Ford Mercedes Lincoln, however, his favorite color is Chevy blue.
Whenever we refer to your character, do we have to do the entire name, or is it like, can we just
No,
choose
he
one of those?
hates his last name with a passion.
Ford Mercedes Lincoln.
He just has to say it because his family's a sellout.
He's contractually obligated to say it every time.
My last name is Blockbuster.
His mom like yells at him whenever
For
he's in
now.
trouble.
Roland Ford Mercedes Lincoln.
It is not lost to him that his initials are FML.
Sponsored by Chevy.
That's so good.
Uh,
I can answer my favorite color. It's hard to say, but like for the most part, black is my favorite color, especially in fashion, because I just really enjoy
Mhm.
what that looks like on a whole fashion outfit kind of concept. But my character, Nettie, only Sin knows why I'm laughing about this. My character Nettie would say that their favorite color is Mars green because she looked it up on the internet, and that's the #1 favorite color in the world, and that's why she chose it, because she doesn't care. But the internet, oh yeah, that's the right one. And so that's her favorite color. It was #1 in 2017, which we're gonna call this whatever age period accurate that is for Cyberpunk, and that's what she
Cyberpunk-
chose.
Cyberpunk takes place in our world.
In
Right.
2077.
But 2077, so I'm gonna pretend like this was like, oh, favorite color of 2077 instead of
Oh, I
2017.
got
It made
you,
a
I
res-
got you.
it made a
Yes, yes,
resurgence.
Yes, yes,
It made it's coming back. Oh my god, it's back in, you guys.
Oh my
It's
so
god.
retro.
It's...
It's really vintage, and that's why she chose it. She was, I guess, someone would have asked her, and she would have been like, "Oh, one moment, please," and then been like, "Google, ah yes, Mars green, thank you."
That's green.
love it.
I think
Right.
that Steve's favorite color is probably like a forest green.
Oh, you are
Um,
going with Steve.
I'm
And-
yeah, no, that's the news. Is his name actually Steve?
What?
And my favorite color, so chromatically, it is blue and pink. Metallically, it is crimson and cobalt, and neon colors, it is yellow and pink.
Okay. Yeah.
That's why I said it's not a simple
Yeah.
question.
Like, I guess, yeah, there's very.
And my
okay.
Pantone code
I
is.
like I like colors.
Pantone 747. Is that white? I don't. think
Well,
that's
now
white.
I gotta look it up. Now
I
it's
think
worth
white
a
is
Google.
0000.
Nettie would look it up,
I
wouldn't
don't know.
she?
Is
What
she
am I
sure
talking
what she'd be like? I know that color. It's purple for your information.
Oh, is it actually?
It's a red, green, blue specified purple question mark.
I
What
don't
is
know
this
what that means, but that's great.
It's purple. It's kind of like eggplant, but not.
Love me some eggplant.
Yeah, you do.
Sin, tell us about your favorite color.
I will let Erica go first.
Oh.
Oh gosh,
Um,
yes.
Oh. I love how I asked the question of like, it actually really isn't a simple question. So Daisy's favorite color is like that sunflower yellow, but it's like the ones that aren't like that beautiful, like the pure yellow. It's the ones that kind of like are ombre. So it has like the red, so it's like in between the red and the yellow color, so almost orange. Where you can't really tell what the color is, but that is her favorite. And then Erica's favorite color, if you can't tell from the background, is purple. So it's like that, like exact purple. Also, the overlay and background was done by Callus, and it's brand new, and I love it. For just a quick plug, for someone to take like I want this to feel like, and then give like a color spectrum of what those colors feel like to me, like nailed it on the head. Love it. Callus, my babe. Thank you so much. That was my quick like shout out. But Sin, your favorite color?
Before I get into that, I just want to say congratulations to Chris for already being immortalized in a quote before the show has even started.
Really?
Yes, the chat makes quotes. Your eggplant quote has made it in.
Let's go! I'm making waves and splashes.
5%
of
chance
whatever.
history, King.
Let's go.
Good job, buddy.
This is why they pay me the big bucks. Oh,
Do they?
No.
They're $2, but they're printed on extra large paper.
Yeah. I use them as
Oh.
posters.
My favorite color is like a sage green. And since I don't have a character, I will give you a vibe.
Vibe.
Does everyone know the color of dark denim? So it's that, but with acid wash bleach on it, and it's the rim where it's that oddly grayish blue color, where it looks really bright in the light, but also just really dirty in the dark, and that is the vibe. Before we actually wrap up, I do have one more thing I would like to ask the table. I would ask that you all bring out your rolling devices and roll initiative for me for next week's game. I will be rolling for Chris, who is our missing player.
Oh wait, crap.
We add a modifier to this. Or
Yeah,
a
we're
skill.
level 15.
Oh
Let's
crap! I
go.
forgot where I put that thing. Oh, natural 20, baby!
Boop.
Let's
Nice.
go.
Operator, do you have stupid luck?
No, I just burned that.
Okay.
That's my luck for the session.
I have a friend who has stupid luck, and I just had war flashbacks just now, so I was like, "Ugh." I have really bad luck for the people in the audience. You'll say, oh no, it can't be bad. It is.
Saf, oh no. I will just say though, Saf, our last campaign, I rolled 4 nat 1s in a row. 2
I'm
with
not
a
be Sinbad.
bonus.
Haha, Sinbad, get it?
What is your thing with your modifiers?
18.
18?
21.
21?
15.
22.
Sam? What's yours?
Natural one.
With the modifier?
With modifiers?
Oh boy. Let me double.
I think it's +5 at level 15.
It depends on your
Only
dexterity.
if your dexterity is, you know.
I don't know where I put my D&D character.
That's so funny.
We gotta wait to
I'm-
find it.
That's so fun. Oh wait, there it is. 2.
Who? Beautiful.
Hey, that's
Uh.
100% more.
Heck yeah, baby. I just want everyone to know I promise I won't kill everyone right away first game. Who knows?
Sure.
All right. Initiative has been rolled. That just gives the rest of you who are here in chat even more of an opportunity to figure out why the heck we just rolled initiative with D&D characters when we're about to play Cyberpunk. We don't even know.
It's the order we'll
but-
be dying in.
But tune in next week
No.
for the premiere episode of Stories in New Hope, a Cyberpunk RED actual play. I'm going to have everyone go around the table, introduce themselves one more time, where they can find you on your socials, things of that nature, and then I'll roll us out. We'll start with Janders, because Janders was ended.
I'm Janders or Jared, whatever you prefer, and I'm Janders42 on TikTok. Sin.
Hello, Sin, sensationally.me on most social media except for Twitter because they don't let you have punctuation in your username. Sam.
Howdy everybody, I'm Sam or Wraither_VO on places like Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. My pronouns are he, him, his. I forgot to say that earlier. And I'm going to point at Saf.
It's
Saf.
me. Yeah, that's my name. I'm Saf, and I go by she/her pronouns. You can find me everywhere on the interwebs at A Clerical Error. Or if you're interested in funky little TTRPG streetwear, you can go to arcanewares.com. I'm gonna pass it off to Chris.
Me. I'm Chris. I am Chris. I go by pronouns occasionally. You can find me at Hamasamakun on all social media. Dang it! All major social media platforms like TikTok, Twitch, Instagram, YouTube. I forgot that was also a thing that I do, where I play D&D with Cards Against Humanity instead of dice. Not for lack of owning dice, just because this game is ridiculous and I feel it pertinent to make sure everybody knows it. You can also find me when Hot Asian D&D gets its own thing, but there's a Hot Asian D&D YouTube and it's cool and it's all the things that Sam said earlier. Look back on the VOD for a better advertisement than this. How's everybody doing today? Is there who hasn't gone yet? Did I go last again?
No,
Operator.
Operator, take it away.
5% chance. Hi. Hello, operator, both here and on the Tiki Talks, and it has been an absolute joy and pleasure, as always.
Sorry, I got distracted by Jander's new dog. Look at Little Jump.
Janders, did you go?
I did. I was the first
Oh,
one.
okay. I had my brain erased by the dog.
Could I very quickly jump in? We have been forgetting to advertise them, but D&D
Yeah.
Imposter is the other Chris, aka Chris Prime, who is currently missing from this chat.
I was
To
about
chat,
to say.
I was here first.
Well, you
I
slept
don't
in
know.
during session 0.
It was at 8 in the morning.
That's like normal business hours, my boy.
Yeah,
It was a
dude.
Saturday. Wasn't it?
No.
Oh,
Someday. Even worse.
in my defense, I work at 9.
Thank you all for joining us. Like Sin said, we are missing one player from the table. Chris, D&D Imposter, will be joining us next week for our session 1 of Stories in New Hope, the Cyberpunk RED actual play at 9 p.m. EDT. I really don't know what the D stands for. But we will be here on the same channel before we wrap up, we have merch. If you want to go buy us some stickers, we have stickers of our logo. There may be more things coming. They look pretty on water bottles. We have the one that Ginger's is showing. We have a 3-inch of both white and color, a 2-inch of the color, and a clear one that you can put on pretty things to show that white side whatever way you like. Also, keep a lookout on our Twitters. We may be the next thing you see on this channel, but there may be something else cooking up next Wednesday. So keep a lookout there. Other than that, thank you all for joining us tonight. It is always fun to sit around a table and talk all things TTRPG, and just fun and to hang out with some awesome, cool friends. And until next time, there's always 5% chance of TBD in your life. See you guys.
Toodles.